The following episode is a conversation between myself and professional poker player Ryan Hunsinger, where we sit down to talk about poker, discipline, and what it really takes to build longevity in this game, on and off the felt. I hope you enjoy the conversation. Ryan, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Will, how's it going?
Going well, man. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us and give us an opportunity to get to know you.
Nice to be here.
This is a very special occasion because you happen to be our very first guest. What inspired you to play poker?
I started out playing poker, I would say probably 2002, just with friends. The first format of poker that I was introduced to was $5 to $25. We would just play home games. It was a lot of fun, but back then I knew nothing about poker like I do now. I think I was really drawn to poker after I was introduced to a underground cash game near my parents' house. This guy had a sports card shop. After the shop closed on Monday and Wednesdays, he would have a 1-2 and 2-5 game go. I was delivering pizzas, saved up some money. When I say saved up some money, I made $150 one night and I brought 100 of it to the cash game. I ended up cashing out at 1 o'clock in the morning for $600. I knew absolutely nothing about poker. Went over to a friend's house. I was just excited. So him and I had a couple beers. And then I knew that the guys would always be playing until 6, 7 in the morning. I ended up going back, bought in for another $100, lost it, bought in for another 100, lost it, bought in for another 100, lost it, until I was down to the original 100 that I came with during the night. Put that $100 on the table, ended up spinning it up to like $1,300 at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Cashed out. I didn't really play all that often because I wasn't old enough to be in the casinos or anything yet. Once I turned 21, my parents had a casino down the street from the house. I played cash quite a bit. Finally, I was able to be introduced to multi-table tournaments in Hammond, Indiana. So I started playing some of those. I've always just kind of played a mix of tournament and cash games. So it's been a long road. I don't think I really started taking poker seriously until I probably moved out to California. So I was probably 26, 27, and that's when I started taking it a little bit more seriously. Poker's led me to a pretty awesome life.
That's cool, man. So you mentioned dividing your time up amongst both cash and tournaments. Is there an area that you would say you focus more on than the other, percentage-wise?
I would say it's probably slightly more tournaments, but now with some of these unknown tax laws going into play, maybe we'll be shifting towards a lot more cash game. We'll see how it all plays out. I don't think we'll know until maybe the end of the year. I always have enjoyed playing tournaments slightly more than cash games, but the lifestyle that and the flexibility that comes along with cash game is a little bit more fitting for my family life.
So I was looking at some of your history, Ryan, and I noticed that, at least according to Hidden Mob anyway, your first recorded tournament result was in 2009. That was roughly 16 years ago. At that time, can you recall what inspired you to begin playing tournaments?
The World Series of Poker, the circuit events were in Hammond, Indiana at the time. I liked the competition. I just really enjoyed that first tournament, and I think that's kind of what led me to playing more as we've gone along.
Are you physically different at the table when you're playing cash games versus tournaments? And if so, how are you different?
I think maybe, you take things a lot more seriously
Sure.
in tournaments. But I just love to enjoy the game, and then meeting different characters. I think that's one of my favorite things in poker is you have all these different people from different walks of life coming in, and everybody is just there to play the game, and so you meet a lot of interesting people. It's a lot of fun though.
Yeah. So something else I learned about you, Ryan, while I was doing my background research on you, is that you, as a tournament player anyway, have just under $1 million worth of live tournament earnings recorded on Hidden Mob. And it's been, like I said, 16 years since your first recorded tournament result. That's pretty good, man. That's impressive. So I guess my next question for you is, where do you find the support to be able to achieve something like what you've achieved?
Starting in 2009, I wasn't able to have all these different tournaments available to me. They would just come and go. There wasn't too many series back then at the time. Now, since I've moved to Vegas,
Hmm.
there's a tournament series every single month. I've always just had the support of my parents, anything that I've ever done in life.
Wow.
So that's huge.
That's also contrary, I think, to a lot of other players from our past, I guess, like some of the pioneers of poker. For example, there's a group of players who have this experience where they're making that phone call to their parents, like, hey, mom and dad, I've decided to, pursue a career in poker. And that doesn't always go over very well with parents. So it's refreshing to hear that, your parents have, it sounds like, kind of always been supportive even before you really started crushing it. Is that the case?
Yeah. I knew that I wanted to move to California. It was actually kind of a blessing in disguise what led me to poker. I got sick when I was 18. I was working a professional job for probably like 4 years in transportation. I was going to move to Columbus, Ohio, and take a job with the company because the company was moving. I ended up having to have a surgery and not being able to take that job. But if that never happened, I don't know where I would be. I'm not sure if I would be playing poker right now. I could be in Columbus, Ohio still. I don't know. So I ended up having the surgery and had to have a recovery process.
Okay.
It was supposed to be 6 months. It was probably closer to 2 years, the recovery,
Wow.
and it took a long time. During my time that I was recovering, I was playing cash games. I had to find something else that was
Yeah.
going to allow me to work my own
And
hours.
Cash Games provides that.
Yeah. Whereas, like with the professional office job, the nine to
Hmm.
five,
Sure.
I wasn't able to make my own hours. Once that happened, I knew I always wanted to move to California.
Yeah.
And I moved to California. I lived there for 5 years and was playing cash games mainly. Cash is always a lot more consistent than
Yeah.
tournaments,
Yeah.
especially when you're coming up. I think playing cash is probably the way to go. Everybody's gonna have their own thoughts.
Yeah. But for somebody that has been playing for, roughly 16 to 20 years, your opinion holds a lot of weight, especially for people, that are tuning in who perhaps don't have as much experience as you do. So, when you say something like, personally, I think cash games are the way to go, that's probably going to resonate with a lot of our viewers because people are coming into poker on all different ends of the spectrum, whether it's like in your case, a lot of experience, years worth of experience, or they're just getting introduced to it like you were, 16, 17 years
Yeah.
ago.
I think it kind of depends on your threshold for variance and how much you can withstand. Because with tournaments, there's a lot of getting kicked off the horse day after day after
Yeah.
day. And then how much can your bankroll withstand? Whereas cash games, if you become a winning player, you can win very consistently in
Right.
cash. You can win 7 out of 10 sessions in cash.
Right.
And it's just probably a lot safer of a bet to be able to pay your bills
Sure.
and continue to grow your bankroll that way.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, your opinion holds a lot of weight. Very valuable considering all the experience you have. Ryan, I want to unpack something for a minute for our viewers who, perhaps aren't as familiar with the terminology that we throw around in poker, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned the word variance. Can you elaborate on that a little bit in terms of the way that variance impacts you as a tournament grinder?
I think as I've grown older in the
Yeah.
game of poker and have more knowledge about it, variance is a very important part of poker.
Ah, okay.
I think in order for poker to remain profitable,
Okay.
variance is needed. You need to have the fun players at the table be on the right side of variance sometimes, or they wouldn't have any incentive to come back and play.
That's a really good point.
If they don't have any incentive to come back and play, then you're going to have a poker room filled with nothing but pros. And then you're going to have your top pros being very minimal, slightly winning players,
Right.
and then your middle of the pack pros are going to probably become slightly losing players.
Right.
And the ecosystem of poker is just not going to exist really without
Correct.
variance.
Correct. Yeah. Wow. You know, it's funny. I've actually, I don't think I've ever heard that take on variance. It's like you said, variance typically has a lot of negative connotations associated to it. I really like that point of view. It's something I personally am going to keep in mind, and hopefully our viewers will do the same. They call poker the ultimate equalizer because poker does not care how much education you have. Poker does not care what your title is outside of here. And I love that because everybody gets their time in the spotlight.
When somebody talks about, oh, well, he's such a deserving player
Ooh,
or he deserves this, there's no such thing as deserving
it's a
in
dangerous
poker.
word in poker.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't exist. And if you think that you deserve something in poker, then you're
You're,
pretty badly mistaken because the person at the table that is gambling it up
mhm.
does they deserve just as much as you do.
Yeah,
They can play their cards any way they want, and you can play your cards any way you want,
that's correct.
and that's how it is.
You know, it's
So,
funny, Ryan. Like, I believe that poker is like a living, breathing spirit, if you will. And I've been guilty of this in the past. Fortunately, I've grown out of it. I've been guilty of coming to the table with a arrogant mentality,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden, I'm getting humbled by the spirit of poker.
yeah. In poker, anybody can beat anybody on any
That's
given
right.
day,
Yeah, it's a
and I
beauty.
think that
Yeah,
yeah, like that's the beauty of the game.
yeah,
So you don't get to go out there and compete with Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods or
exactly.
in professional sports
Right,
as a regular person. But in poker, you can go out there
right.
and hang with the best on
Yeah,
any given day.
yeah. It's funny you say that because me and my family we run poker tournaments, at home, and they love it and they enjoy it. But anybody can beat anybody. And there's been times where like my 9-year-old son is like stacking me, and I'm like, did this just happen?
How many kids do you have?
We have six.
Oh
We have
wow.
six
Oh
kids. Yeah,
wow.
man.
Nice.
Actually, I talk about it on my individual bankroll challenge that I'm
Okay.
currently undergoing.
Okay.
I think we're on like week 5 now.
Okay.
But yeah, we have 6 kids, man. So never a dull moment. What
No.
about you? Do you have any kiddos?
I have a 4-year-old stepson.
Okay,
So
awesome.
yeah, I've got my beautiful fiance who is one of my biggest supporters.
Good for you.
And I think right now, currently, I am at a place in life
Yeah,
where I'm just like surrounded by peace. And I think that's something that has really elevated my game.
I bet it has. Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so you mentioned currently finding yourself in a place of peace. How did you get there? And what did it take for you to create that reality for yourself?
I think it took a lot of just I was never going to change myself
Ah,
for anybody else.
okay.
I was never going to change what I wanted to do professionally. I was never going to stop chasing my dreams
Wow.
because somebody didn't see that as a feasible way of living.
Yeah.
I just always knew that whenever the time was right, the right person would come into my life,
Yeah.
and it happened.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I've got somebody who is such a support. It's great to have in order to be successful
Sure.
in poker.
Yeah.
I think having a good support system. I always had
Yeah.
it from my parents and everything,
Yeah.
but as get older and you want to create your own life and your own family,
Right.
it's super important to have a spouse that is going to understand what you go through,
Right.
the ups and downs of it.
Especially if you're already accustomed to receiving, like you said, like that support from your parents.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you go into your own like intimate relationship with a partner, and you would hope that they would provide you the same support in a different circumstance, but nevertheless, right, the same support. So that's pretty cool. I think you're pretty lucky and privileged to be in a situation like that,
Very lucky.
because I'm sure personally, and I know I do, plenty of players, and maybe even players that are currently tuning in who don't receive that same support, from their spouses and or the people that they're dating,
Yep.
at the moment. And I know that's got to be hard. And I'm actually glad that we're on this topic, Ryan, because this is like a perfect segue into my next question,
Yeah.
which I was really eager to ask you about because I want to get your perspective on this. We all know, for those of us that have been around the poker scene for quite some time now, that this endeavor does have a negative stigma outside of our industry. In the way that outsiders, right, are looking in, there is generally a negative perspective on what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, have you personally had to experience anyone in your life placing that negative stigma on poker? And if so, what have you done to overcome it?
Everybody's allowed their own opinion, their
Sure.
own thoughts, and I don't put much weight into their opinions and
Okay.
thoughts. I just let them have them and go on my way.
Because poker is such an unorthodox occupation.
It
So
is.
if you're sitting down, for example, at like a family function, and cousin Joe is like, Ryan, what do you do for a living?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you mention the term poker to him, he might perceive that as like degenerate gambling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do we do, to overcome this negative stigma that's associated with what we do?
I don't know if there is overcoming it and I
Mm-hmm.
will never not tell somebody that poker isn't gambling because it is.
Right.
But so is the stock market. You're gambling every single day with your life. Even when you just go and get into your car and drive to work,
Right.
people don't look at it as a gamble, but you're gambling. So there's variance in life. You didn't plan on going to work that day and having a flat tire. There's just so many different risks every single day that you take that you don't even
Right.
think of
Right.
because it's just become so routine.
Right.
You have to get in your car to drive to work, so you don't think about that. But if you take your time and you put in the work and the effort into learning the game of poker,
Yeah.
you understand that it's more than just gambling. I don't personally play anything outside of poker.
Okay.
I don't play anything against the casino.
Right.
I don't know. It's always been easy for me.
Yeah.
The negative connotation that poker has, it will always be there. I guess the only way you can change it
Mm-hmm.
is to educate the people around you on the game.
I think, like in your case, because you do have, such an impressive stat sheet, you could direct some people to your stats.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, you have clearly proven yourself as a successful poker player.
Yeah, you just have to have the understanding that, especially in tournament poker,
Mm-hmm.
you're just not going to win all that often.
Right.
It's just,
But not everybody understands that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of break down how staying in the game financially, how it works.
Yeah. Did you have to do that? Did you have to sort of go through that breakdown with your significant other?
She already had some understanding
Okay.
of it because of her family history. I got lucky in that sense. But I was also, like you said, I had that tangible source that I could show her.
Right.
Like, hey, look, maybe I'm not exactly where I want to be right now,
Right.
but I know I'm capable of it.
Right.
And I know I can get there and I
Right.
will get there. It's just
Right.
a matter of time. My fiance has already been established and she doesn't need my source of income to take care of her. So I think that's something that's been so
That's huge.
for me.
Yeah.
And you're not going to find that
Right.
all that often.
Right.
So I got very lucky.
Yeah, you seem,
Just got very, very lucky.
like you've been very blessed. Is your fiance from here? From
She
Las
is.
Vegas? Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's from here.
Oh, okay. So I can understand how she already has that perspective on what responsible calculated gambling looks like.
Yeah.
And since you're a responsible calculated individual, it seems like a conversation like that would go over relatively well
Yeah.
with someone that's interested in you.
I think within the first year or so, year and a half of us being together,
Uh-huh.
I was lucky enough to have a six-figure score.
There you go.
And at that point, she was just, she said, "Man, I really love seeing all your work and effort come into
Sure,
fruition."
sure.
So,
Yeah, and I can tell just from talking to you that your fiance's support doesn't just exist because of some of your notable scores. Sounds like she's going to support you anyway because she believes in you just as much as you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
And it's not just poker too. It's everything outside of poker. Very lucky, very blessed,
Yeah.
very happy with where I'm at right now in life, and hopefully we can just continue to grow together.
Good for you. I hope so too, man.
Yeah.
At some point for this podcast, I would like to bring the same guest back, like, 6 months to a year,
Yeah, I think that'd
and
be
just give our audience an opportunity to catch up with you. So before Ryan and I got started this morning, I was joking about the possibility of our guests who come on this podcast experiencing the Lamb Fam Run Good. So I'm hoping that, is the case for you, and I'm hoping that it'll become a thing. I want to be the opposite of Jeff Platt. When it, no, he's a great guy. It's just funny because, like, people are under this belief if they get interviewed by him, during a tournament, they're bound to get knocked out. So perhaps we can do the opposite on this podcast. But let me get back to our discussion, Ryan. So you mentioned you and your fiance living here in Las Vegas. Are you still traveling for poker?
Yeah, I will, not as much
Okay.
anymore. But when there's stops, I'm actually going to Arizona at the end of the week.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned
So
that.
that's a close stop. It will be a quick
It's
one.
drivable. Yeah.
I'll travel to Southern California still, South Florida. I'll go back home to Chicago. When I go back home, I don't really play all that much.
Okay.
But if there's a series or something, then I'll make a stop and play.
Cool.
Yeah, those are some of my favorite stops, I think. Looking forward to Arizona at the end of the week. Yeah.
Scottsdale, right? I've been there once or twice. Sounds like you're still doing a little bit of traveling outside of here. Let me ask you this. What's your favorite stop, when you're kind of traveling the circuit?
Probably South Florida.
Why is that?
I just love being close to the beach and the weather, especially in the wintertime. I don't really go during the summer.
Yeah.
It's too hot and humid for me personally, but the weather is absolutely perfect. And when I go to play poker, I'm not just sitting in the casino all the time.
Right.
I'm not just grinding away at the casino. I like to kind of make it a little bit of a vacation. I think that's probably my favorite.
So you've lived in multiple places at this point.
Yeah.
Do you embrace the sports culture, so to speak, when you move to different places? Like, for example, did you become a Golden Knights / Raiders / Aces future Athletic A's fan when you moved here?
So I'm from Chicago.
That's right.
And I'm pretty
Loyal?
pretty
Pretty loyal? Okay.
My Chicago fan base.
Well, I don't blame you. I'm a big MJ fan, so.
The Bears and the Cubs. I grew up being a huge Bulls fan.
Okay.
But since I got into hockey, I have, really adopted the Knights as my hockey team.
All right. So there's room for some new teams.
I don't think that I'll ever be a Raiders fan or probably not an A's fan.
Yeah.
But it's cool that we have that.
Yeah.
It's going to bring a lot of jobs and tourism and to
Right.
Vegas, more so than what we already have now.
Right.
And it's cool to have them right down the street and be able to go to a game.
Have you been to one?
I went to a Bears Raiders game this year.
Oh, cool.
And oddly enough, I met somebody through poker
Okay.
who works for CBS Sports.
Yeah.
And him and I have become good friends. And he asked me to work the Super Bowl and go to the game. I did it with CBS Sports.
Wow, that's cool.
I did that for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And it was an experience of a lifetime. I'll never get it again.
Very cool.
Got to meet some really awesome people. It was, like I said, an experience of a lifetime.
So what was your involvement?
I was literally considered like a runner.
Okay.
And I was just doing whatever my bosses told me to do. But it was cool. I got to meet like a lot of the talent and stuff.
Right.
Some ex-players, and I was hanging around with Matt Ryan all day long for multiple days.
Nice.
It was just being a sports fan growing up, being able to go to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Just something that I didn't ever think I would do.
Okay.
And I had this opportunity to do it, and it was everything that I thought it would be and more. So just very lucky to, and that's something that I got through poker. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, so, it's an example of one of the many doors that have opened up for you
yeah,
via playing poker professionally. That's really cool, man.
yeah. And I've actually done another Raiders game as well after that. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, just take the day off and
Right.
go be able to watch the game and do a little bit of work and get paid. It's cool.
Good for you,
Don't
man.
even need to pay me to do it,
Right. Right.
but
Right. The
it's
experience is
cool.
probably, valuable enough,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, it's really
That's
cool.
awesome, man. So you mentioned being a sports fan. I haven't had an opportunity to ask you yet. Did you happen to play sports growing up in Chicago?
Yeah, I did. I
Okay.
played baseball and basketball
Okay.
mainly. And I did that until high school, until the end of high school. Um, and so I think poker is like a really good way for me to get that competition
Sure.
that that I always had growing up, and now I no longer have. So I think the being on the table and competing with others it's very similar to when I was growing up playing sports.
Can you give me an example of how it's similar?
I'm just always trying to beat the other players at the table.
Yeah.
And so I think it it's more of an independent game,
Hmm.
like golf.
Right.
It's similar to golf, I
Versus like
guess,
baseball
versus
or
baseball where
basketball
it's more
where
of a
you're relying
team.
on. Yeah.
hmm So you don't have that.
Yeah.
But I guess in some way or another, having your support system and the friends and the people around you that believe in you, that's kind of your team as well,
Sure. Absolutely. I like
So
the way you put that. Yeah. That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah. So, in other words, you are accustomed to being in competitive environments,
yeah,
and you're also accustomed to experiencing fatigue
yep,
from being in those competitive environments.
yep.
So, let me ask you this: how do you create balance in your life off the felt to maintain balance?
I think try to get to the gym and
Okay,
eat healthy. I think that's an important part.
sure,
And you don't always see that with everybody at the poker table. You got everybody that does their own thing, but I think it's a way of gaining an edge on
yeah,
your opponents. So I think it's important. Not always the best with it, but there's that. And then there's more to life than just poker,
okay,
a lot more. So no matter what happens, um, highs or lows,
hmm,
it's always nice to go home and see my family. And
right,
that's just kind of reset,
yeah,
you know, be able to do other activities outside of poker.
yeah.
I'm not here grinding 24/7 anymore like I used to.
I was just about to ask, like, has that always been the case? But it sounds like you've evolved.
When I was younger, I was able to have 35, 40-hour sessions,
Right.
but I just don't do that anymore. I
Yeah.
just
It's hard on the body
it
and the
is.
mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's important to have a lot of balance in
Hmm.
life and try to maintain that, whether it be working out, spending time with friends and family outside of poker. I just no longer am centering my life around poker.
Has that been a benefit to
Yeah.
you and the folks that you have relationships with outside of poker?
Yeah, definitely. I think it just allows me to have more happiness in my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Good for you.
yeah.
That's awesome. So when you first started playing poker, what did your goals look like?
Yeah, I don't know if I really had any. I
Okay.
think back then I saw poker as a way to get rich quickly, and then
Okay, that's fair.
I had to learn that that's not the case. It's a true grind,
Yeah.
and if you want to eventually get to the point where you want to be, you better have a passion for the game.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're just not gonna get there, I feel like. I know you got your one-offs that
Hmm.
might get rich quick
Right.
in
Right.
poker,
Right.
but that's very seldomly.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often. So, um, yeah, the goals back then, I just don't think I had like the clear write them down. This is what I want to achieve. I think for me, I guess one of the goals in poker has always been the freedom that
Yeah.
comes along with it.
Right.
So it's not just mainly chasing money.
Okay.
I think it's the fact that I don't have anybody to answer to
Yeah.
has been huge. But also, what comes along with that is you need to have a lot of responsibility on yourself and discipline on yourself to go to work.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't have somebody telling you you have to be here, so that's on you to go to work
Right.
and make sure that you're doing what you need to do. It's on you to study and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You're your own boss, and you have to treat it like that.
Yeah.
But it does. It gives you a lot of flexibility if you do it the right way, and I think that's kind of always been the goal for me, and still is. I want to be able to spend as much time with my family as possible,
Sure.
and poker is a great way for me to be able to do that.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah, two things. So number one, you sound like you're still very passionate about the game of poker.
yeah, I
And
love
I
it.
love that. Like I can feel it. You know what I mean? In spite of the fact that you've been doing this for a long time.
Hmm.
I can still sense that passion coming
Yeah,
from you.
I don't think that there's a lot of people that. I mean, I guess there's a decent amount, but
Yeah.
I don't. I would say that I feel like I love the game of poker more than a lot of people, from what I see at the table, at least. You get a lot of people that seem like they're kind of miserable,
Yeah.
which is weird.
Yeah. It
Why?
is
Why
weird.
are you doing it?
Sounds like a first world problem.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we're pretty lucky.
yeah, yeah, without a doubt, we're super lucky.
Yeah.
People don't. I don't know.
I think we get complacent though, you know, and forget that, there's people outside of this that are way less privileged. And if you're sitting at a poker table, whether you're playing a tournament or a cash game, you should consider yourself very privileged.
Yeah, I think that's something that's always kept me grounded in
Yeah.
poker.
Good.
Just understanding that I am extremely lucky to be where I'm at,
Yeah.
considering there's people that don't have clean drinking water, a roof over their head.
Right. Right.
So it's like, what are you really complaining about at the end of the day?
Right. Right.
So what, you lost
Right.
on the day. So what, you've had a bad year.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can sense that um sort of sense of gratitude on your part for the game and everything it offers.
Yeah.
I can sense that you still have that. I can sense that you're still very much passionate about it. It sounds like you approach the game much differently now than you used to. And sort of kind of going back to our original question about your goals, I understand that when you first came into poker, perhaps your goals were a little more shallow, if you will,
Yeah.
sort of like you said, the kind of the get rich quick
Yeah.
mentality, which I think a lot of us are guilty of. But after you kind of gain a better understanding of what it looks like and what it takes to be successful in this industry, it sounds like your goals have sort of evolved to where now you do this so that, like you said, you have more time with the people that are closest to you because poker can provide a lot of flexibility and a lot of freedom and liberty,
Yeah.
and that's great.
Yeah, it's just like you said. As I was younger, I didn't really look at it like that, but knowledge over the years
Hmm.
has changed things
Sure.
and allows you to have a different perspective on life
Yeah,
than what you do when you're a little bit younger.
exactly.
So,
So I wanted to unpack something you mentioned earlier. There's some players who are sort of known for being like one-offs, right? Where, like, for example, they'll get like a deep run in like, let's say, the WSOP main event, and then you'll never hear from them again.
mm,
um, versus players who maybe consider themselves like lifers, kind of like Michael Jordan. It's not like after he won his first, second, or third championship, he just, well, he kind of did take that little hiatus or whatever, but he came back, and that's proof that he loved the game of basketball. I get the impression from you that regardless of sort of like how much money you're making at the moment, you can see yourself doing this for the next, 5, 10, perhaps even like 15 years.
Yeah, I love the intricacies and the little leveling wars that go
Yeah,
on as
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
That's why I think I don't really find anything on the floor
Hmm.
very interesting. It's never caught my attention.
Mm,
I like it's like chess, you know.
yeah,
That's how they compare poker to chess.
right,
And except for in poker, you can only see three-fourths of the board, and you have to put the other fourth of the board together in your head.
right, right.
And you have to figure out, your opponent's bet sizing and just everything, So I love the complex nature of poker.
Yeah,
It's always had my attention, and I think it always will.
yeah,
Always trying to get better,
yeah.
and I don't think that it will be a solved game at least anytime soon, even with solvers. Um, I think I see myself forever playing poker.
Wow.
I don't know if I'll ever want to just stop playing poker.
Yeah, yeah.
I do think that there are other things in life that I want to accomplish
Sure.
and achieve and have other streams of revenue. I think that's important. I've always, and anybody asks me, the sustainability of playing poker, just only poker,
Yeah, yeah,
I question it
yeah,
sometimes. I
yeah.
still do.
That's what makes that term variance that we were, discussing earlier
Yeah,
twofold. On one hand, like you said, it's a positive because it gives other people an opportunity to win who otherwise may not experience that kind of success outside of here. But on the other hand, variance can be difficult to overcome
no
sometimes.
doubt.
So um, you're supporting the idea that if you're playing professionally, it's important to have additional streams of revenue so that you can sustain the variance that will inevitably impact your results.
Yeah, I don't think just strictly playing poker is
The answer.
the answer. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there's in poker you don't have a 401k, you don't have a retirement fund, your business isn't setting you up with health insurance.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's just not there.
Exactly.
So you have to kind of create that on your own.
Exactly.
And so in order to do that, I think you need to step outside the box
Mm,
and create other things in life for yourself that will allow you later on in your future to have that retirement fund,
right.
that health insurance,
Right.
whatever it is that you need.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, I think it's important. I don't think that I'll ever stop playing poker, no matter what. It will always be a source of income for me. It will always be fun. I
Yeah.
enjoy poker so much. But I do think that having other things in life is important as well.
It's hard to be successful in poker if that is the only thing, that you're putting your time and energy into.
Yeah, I really think that in poker, when say you do have a big score,
Uh-huh.
and you've never had a large lump sum of money
Yeah.
to like before in life, and you've never grown up learning about financials, it's going to be very difficult in order to keep that money and make it grow. I had to learn the hard way the first time around after I had a six-figure score.
Yeah.
I would say probably within like 2 years, I was close to broke. So this time around, I'm trying to do it differently.
Mm.
And so I guess the discipline that it takes in order to sustain, longevity in the game it's difficult.
Yeah.
But if you can get that into place, then you probably have a good chance of
Pretty
sticking around
bright
for a
future.
while.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to ask you some lighter hearted questions if
Yeah,
that's okay
of
before
course.
we start wrapping up, just so our audience can get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
Do you have favorite, old school poker players of yours?
I would say that I've never really like looked up to anybody
Okay.
in poker. I
Interesting.
mean, yeah, I have good friends of mine that I go over hands with and I
Mm.
really respect their game.
Yeah.
But I've never really had like any idols, I guess, in poker. I guess if I thought about it, I think probably seeing the people in poker who have families,
Ah, okay. Yeah.
like the guys that are grinding and
Right.
have been able to make it work.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of who I look up to. I'm like, man, like they've got kids, a wife, and they've really been able to make this work. So this is proof that you can play poker for a living.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
but I guess in terms of like older players or like somebody that I've idolized, I don't know if I've ever really had that. I guess there's people's games that I like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. No, that's a good answer.
I
Yeah,
guess
I
I
like
just
that.
don't really. I guess I'm always just kind of chasing myself, you
Ah,
know,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
trying to be better tomorrow than I was
Right.
today.
Right.
And that's kind of the way that I've always gone
Yeah.
about looking at poker.
Yeah, you're almost like your own biggest fan.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And like you said, you're constantly looking in the mirror and challenging yourself to, be a better version of what you're looking at.
yeah,
You know? And actually you make a good point because I think like when it comes to anything, if you're spending too much time and energy on trying to be somebody else, you're never going to find yourself. You're never going to be the best version of yourself
yeah,
trying to be somebody else.
yeah,
So I like that perspective, and I like that you personally tend to gravitate toward not any particular player in our industry, but players who have proven to make this work in spite of trying to support themselves and their families.
mm,
That's pretty cool.
yeah. You know, like you were talking about with poker having the negative connotation with
Yeah,
gambling and all that. I think the people that have, kids and
yeah,
a wife and they it shows you that you can do it,
yeah,
So those are the people that I think that I kind of look up to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So I'll just go ahead and start wrapping up, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned uh, the tournament over at Talking Stick
Yep.
in Scottsdale
Yeah.
being on your radar.
Yep.
Sounds like that's something that is like right around the corner.
Yeah, this weekend.
What other tournaments, if any, do you have on your schedule over the next like 6 months or so?
I think this year I'm kind of not playing as many tournaments as I was last year, but obviously the summer series. I kind of just look at tournaments a month out, something like that, and decide whether I'm gonna go play it or not.
Oh, okay.
I always feel guilty right now, and she never makes me feel guilty, but I always feel bad just leaving and not being there to help with things.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what's made traveling for poker a little difficult.
You're referring to your fiance?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She's always been, like I said, supportive, but
Yeah.
me personally, I feel bad.
Sure.
Like I want to be there to help, so
Yeah.
traveling,
Well, it shows how much you care. That's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Talking Stick, Summer Series, um, and in between, I think there's a lot of learning that needs
Hmm.
to happen. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of studying.
Yeah, that's another thing we really didn't get to
Yeah,
discuss a whole lot. Do you invest a decent amount of time studying
I would say
off the
in
table?
my past, I haven't invested that much into it.
Okay.
But I have some. It's helped me grow my game. And I think this year, since I'm going to take a little bit step away, I
Yeah.
think, like just from tournaments at least, I will really put that time into studying
Good for you.
and then be be better when I come back to them. So
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
plan on coming back in summer for sure.
Do you have any like there's like obviously hundreds of events
Yeah,
between here and all the other, casinos on the strip during the summer series because everybody's kind of doing their own uh tournaments. Do you have any particular event that's on the top of your list that's like something you look forward to every year?
I mean, the World Series of Poker, having those events is just being able to play 8,000
Hmm.
plus player fields. That's always exciting. It takes a different mindset to get
Yeah.
into those
Yeah.
because you're playing for 3, 4, 5 days straight.
Among thousands of other players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, I mean, I think those are always good. Um, I actually think Resorts World runs a really well.
Yeah.
The NAPT when it comes here in November.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a beautiful setting. Like
Oh yeah.
it's awesome.
Do you ever play any of the MSPT events here at the
That's
Venetian?
yeah, I do. Yeah, that Venetian runs amazing series.
Yeah.
I would say that the two places that I play the most
Mm-hmm.
tournament wise
Mm-hmm.
would be Win and here at Venetian.
Ah, okay.
Those are the two places. Um, so I think now they have a partnership with Poker Go.
Okay.
So it seems like
Oh, the Venetian.
the Venetian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So um, there's a lot of different series that I look forward to coming
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
but just kind of balancing things with
Yeah.
life and family outside of poker. So I think cash games
Yeah.
is a little bit
Yeah.
better for that lifestyle.
Yeah.
So we'll
Good.
see.
Yeah. Good. So it
Yeah.
sounds like, for now you're kind of going to tournament wise focus on this upcoming tournament
Yeah.
out there in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
And then at some point, make your way into some of the events during the tournament series, and in between all that, maybe shift a lot of your time and energy into cash games, because it's like from one poker player to another. I feel like um, cash games are sort of just like a great way to supplement your tournament buy-ins, and in some players' case, afford to live.
Yeah.
Um, so, and then like you said, that flexibility that cash games offer is also invaluable
Yeah.
for a lot of us.
Yep.
So
So
cool, man.
we'll pick and choose different series and
Yeah,
tournaments that we look forward to this year. We'll probably be a little bit more selective than we
yeah.
were last year. I think I played from last year from beginning of June until the beginning of this year. I think I played 100 buy-ins.
Okay.
So we were pretty heavily into tournaments last year. But we'll see what this year has in store. We're not
Yeah.
sure.
Well, Ryan, first of all, I wish you the best of luck, man.
Thanks, Will.
Not just in poker, but
Appreciate
in
it.
life.
Yeah.
You're a great person, and you're a great influence. And I hope that our viewers will benefit from this conversation that we've had, because you've said a lot of really valuable things about working in a profession like this,
Yeah.
that I think can lead to a lot of success for a lot of people. I think you have the right mentality when it comes to managing all of this, because it's not necessarily easy. I know, like for some maybe less experienced players, there is like an allure um, about poker that perhaps makes it seem very easy, but it couldn't be further from that, right?
Yeah. Game of poker is not easy at
Exactly.
all.
To be successful long term in this industry, it takes a lot of hard work and dedication. And you seem like you have, all the qualities and characteristics that it takes to do so. So yeah, man, I wish you the best of luck in everything. I wish you the best of luck with you and your fiance and y'all's, future lives and different things that, the two of you put your time and energy into.
Thanks,
And
man. I really appreciate that.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad
It
to
was
be able to be the first guest on this podcast.
Me too,
It's
man.
pretty sweet.
One of the most memorable, episodes that we're gonna have.
And
So
I'll make sure to let everybody know how I ran afterwards to see.
yeah, please do. Yeah, keep us posted, man. Keep us posted. I'm sure, after this episode,
Get that
people are gonna
The
want to know.
Lambo run good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got it, guys and gals. He's gonna get that Lambo run good, and he's
Definitely.
gonna come back from Arizona a winner, hopefully.
Yeah.
But regardless of how you do in that tournament, you're always a winner, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, the two things actually that I wanna leave you with. Number one, is there anywhere on social media that our viewers can follow you? And if so, can you provide us the information for that? Whether
Yeah, I don't really do that much
okay,
social media at all. I
okay,
mean, I don't really keep up with it.
that's fine.
It's just not my thing.
No, you're good. You're
But
good. If anything, I will keep everybody posted on how you're doing
yeah,
for our viewers that are eager to find out how you're running over the
yeah, I just kind of always feel like I want to be kind of under the
I
radar
respect
and
that. Yeah.
just quiet and don't really, you know.
It actually goes back to the idea of you creating more peace in your life,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So I have a lot of respect for that.
yeah,
And I don't blame you for that. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So I think we were lucky enough to have you come on the podcast, and be willing to
Well,
share all this cool info with us.
I'm
So
very glad that we ran into each other.
yeah,
I
no
mean,
kidding.
yeah, it
Yeah,
just
it
happened by
was
chance that I was on here,
it was fate.
so it was cool.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
man.
I'm very glad to have been able to be here. So
Me too,
thank you
man.
very much.
Yeah, thank
I
you, Ryan.
appreciate
And
that.
the last thing I want to leave Ryan with, it's going to become a tradition on this podcast, where we present our guests who are officially part of the Lamb fam. So consider
Yeah,
yourself part of the family,
awesome.
with a custom made hat designed just for Ryan. You don't have to wear it, but perhaps put it on your trophy case with
Yeah,
all your
no
other
doubt.
amazing accolades. But you got Lamfan on the front, and then he's got his initials on the back. And because Ryan is a Las Vegas resident, we got the UNLV mascot.
Yeah, the Rebels.
Right
Cool.
on the back. So
Awesome.
I want to present this to you,
Thank you,
and thank
man.
you again
Appreciate it.
for being our first guest
It's nice.
on the podcast. And that's all we have for today, folks. Thanks again for tuning in to Poker Off the Felt. And I will keep you all posted on Ryan's run good.
Thank you,
Thanks
man.
again, man.
Yeah, thanks, Will.
Appreciate it, brother.